I've just...
Size muscle car. It almost looked like somebody dipped this car.
But he's got a fucking point. It literally look, they've still got the fucking... Oh, they've still got the original wheels on it. The polyglass GTs. Look at it. It's just that they just... Anyway, Wasabi people's Trey here. Look, I've gone live broadcast because I've just... For some reason, I was talking to the missus just before about 1970 Plymouth Barracudas, okay? And this thing popped up. Hold on. I'm just going to have a gander. Who is it? V8 TV, okay? You guys are amazing. Thank you for this video. Seriously. This car... What the actual shit? Really? Are you sure this car is actually real? Like, you must have photoshopped something. If you haven't, holy fuck. Look at Muscle Car of the Week, video number 53. I'm sorry if this is actually a copyright. I'm sorry, I really am. What the hell? Oh my god, this thing is so nice. Right here, this. Right, I don't know about the red interior. Personally, if I was to go for a red outer shell with the shaker hood, I'd probably go for like a dark charcoal grey, possibly black for the interior. Because, you know, red on red, maybe not. The red body with the black, you know, the black canopy, yes, that works. But red, black, I don't know about that. But look at the color of this thing. What the hell? That is so nice. Holy shit, that is nice. Nom 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 nom. That is just all kinds of yummy. Just all kinds of yummy. I mean, I know I usually do first-person shooter games on my video channel, but I can't ignore this. I was just looking at YouTube and watching a few videos, and you know, I'm subscribed to Cletus McFarland, and I was looking at his 427 build that he did with the twin turbs on Leroy, and then, you know, I just all of a sudden thought, fuck it, I'm gonna have a look at some Chrysler stuff. And then I thought Chrysler, then I thought Plymouth, and Plymouth, I don't know what it is about Mopar, but Mopar is my favorite. Just American Mopar powered engines, like powered cars, anything Mopar, I love it. So good. And then the 426. The 426, okay? Just look at this thing. It's absolutely gorgeous. Everything about it is just fucking phenomenal. I know I'm not supposed to be swearing and, you know, blow it. I don't care. Look, down to the rims. This thing has the original rims. The tyre design, I don't know if these are the original tyres. If they are, that is fucking incredible. If that is actually the case, then this thing is literally only done like 26,000 miles. Which is just stupid. Genuinely stupid. Like, I just get, look at it. Look. This car has made my night just so much happier. No, I'm not really sure. Did that come out with bonnet pins? Bonnet pins. If they came out with the bonnet pins in 1970, you guys are fucking legends.
just actually... Why did I even ask that? Of course they came out with bottom pins in the 70s. But...
car in red paint. I mean, it's got a shaker hood scoop, which is red to match all the red exterior, the red interior, and these CUDAs were interesting because they've got a lot of red on the engine bay as well. The inner fenders are red, the bottom of the hood's red, firewall's red, but underneath that giant scoop is the sleeping elephant. 426 cubic inch, hemispherical headed V8 engine, 425 horsepower, 490.
Just imagine that. 1970. You're cruising down the road. Right? And you've just managed to somehow, by yourself, look at this. Top center of the screen. Shaker. Shaker? Written right above that shaker scoop. Hemi 426. And this beautiful nostril just sitting right there. Right above 400. 400 odd horsepower. Just before the fuel crisis, by the way, you know, oil and all that sort of shit. Fuck that. These guys just pissed all over it and built this massive engine in a Plymouth. Which, by the way, actually spanned across quite a few different models. It wasn't just the CUDA. What was it? There was the Roadrunner, there was the Superbird, there was... What else was there? There was the Roadrunner, Superbird, CUDA, Plymouth... God damn it. No, I've actually bloody well forgotten. I've just gotten excited about this CUDA. It just looks fucking incredible. Seriously? If this isn't actually a rebuild, and the person that had this car before it went for auction, you're a legend. Just an outright legend. There's no other way to put it. You're a fucking genius. You managed to keep this car this way for that long is... Not a lot of people would do it. Especially when you have a car with this body shape. I mean, it's fucking insane.
Foot-pounds of torque. They only made a handful of them in a convertible.
426, 425, 490 torque. How much more rounded could you be? Chrysler, Plymouth, you're fucking geniuses. Like, you really are. That's monumental. In that era, you know, that era of V8s, these are some just genuinely insane stats for a V8. I mean, I own a Honda Accord VTEC, for fuck's sake. And if I could put something like that into my Honda, even if it's just completely fucking stock. I mean, obviously for the Honda, I'd need to severely upgrade the chassis, redo the suspension, pretty much all of the brakes and anything to do with the handling and the actual stability of the car. To handle an engine with that sort of power, I'd be a very happy man. Wait a minute. Mopar-powered Honda. I have an idea.
I mean, this is... Opening this hood on this car is just like 2 Christmas mornings at the same time.
Look at the shaker hood. That is so goddamn nice. I know I'm going to get a copy.
I have no idea why, but only 14 people bought these cars new.
Awesome.
The Hemi CUDA convertible is one of the rarest, most sought-after muscle cars ever made, and some of them were
Okay, that's a fairly steep... That's a fairly steep claim to make. Rarest, most sought after. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Like, you know, the Kudas, they are rare. They're very rare. Incredibly rare. Especially for people that, you know, don't usually keep them stock. That there was a Kuda I watched a video of maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. There's this guy. He had the 446 pack, but you know he tweaked it a little bit. It wasn't completely original, and he had drag radials on the back. And excuse me, you know, it was a nice car, you know, a gloss matte black. And when I say gloss matte, had a matte finish, but you know, it was, you know, I had just a little bit of a glossy tinge to it, like what you see on this. And not, you know, a genuinely nice little shine to the paint job, but the finish on it was, you know, when you got to a corner, it was a little bit flat on it, you know, that nice matte color, but it was black. Not convertible. This is convertible, but the one that he had was a matte, you know, it was a full coupe. Nice car. Really nice car. Sounded fucking insane. Holy shit, it sounded good. Sounded awesome. Which is what I'm actually kind of looking forward to in this video. I'm definitely going to get a copyright fucking right over for this. I feel bad for it, but I couldn't help but fucking broadcast it because it's just such a nice goddamn car. It really is. And the color of it, even though it's red, but you look at it in some parts, it almost looks orange. Some. Very marginal. Very, very, very marginal. But you can kind of see a little bit of an orange tinge to it. And it reminds me of the HQ Kingswood brick orange. Any Aussies that end up watching this video will know exactly what that is. The HQ brick orange had the same vinyl black top to them. And it wasn't a soft top, it wasn't a convertible. The whole thing was completely closed over, and my father had one when I was a kid. And, you know, 4-door, massive car. Fucking huge. Big goddamn car. Built like a brick shithouse. And just kind of reminds me of that. And that's the reason why I like these cars so much, is because if you were to get into an accident of one of these, and you were to collide with another car, if you were to collide with a car that is of this era with one of these, it'd be like plowing a tank through a building. The building would not survive at all. Same with a car of this era against something like that. That is proper American steel. Same thing with British steel of this era. You know, anything pre-70s with British steel. Even pre-80s British steel. Same effect. They're just built so fucking well and so efficiently. Everything about them. Sure, I mean, when you look at it, the aerodynamics and everything about them, the physicality of them, you know, it's not what you'd expect from a car from these days. But back then, these things were amazing. And that's what I like about them. I mean, look at the nose of this thing. You know, it's basically a wedge. And it is. Sure, like when you compare it to the likes of a British car of this era. You go to Jag, you go to Rover, you go to I don't know so much about Wolseley. They kind of discontinued in the mid to late 60s. But Rover, for example. The Queen. Loved them. Queens for generations. Fucking, they were the cruise around car. They were the car that they chose. Rover SD1 was chosen for races. Buick shared the same vision. Same vision. And all of them rounded up to the exact same fact that V8s were just, at that time, were just incredibly easy. Like, just really easy to work on. Mechanically, because, when you look at the all-around design of V8s back then, manual windows, cams, all of that. Carburetors, for example. Carburetors, you didn't have to worry about all that, that technical bullshit. Carburetors, perfect. Weber carbs. Chuck a couple of standard Weber carbs onto like a 1600 Ford Escort, and that thing would go like a fucking rocket. Now you look at cams and camshafts. Camshaft, a Honda Accord, perfect example of camshafts. Double overhead cam. Don't need it. But that's the thing about modern vehicles. They don't go by carburetors because, it's old technology. Fuck off, old technology. Old technology is better technology. And it always will be because it's simpler. It's easier to work on. It's more efficient. Doesn't matter how you look at it. It's always going to be more efficient. And this Plymouth Barracuda, Barracuda, Cuda is a perfect example. Don't worry about cams. Didn't worry about cams at all. And that's what made it so fucking incredible. And that's why I like them so much, because they're just simple V8, simple power, perfectly equalized the whole way across. Didn't matter how you looked at it. Just an amazing, amazing piece of just mechanical technology, like the whole thing. Like, for example, like at this, I think maybe, a few years before this, in British cars, there was a tyre called Crosswires. And the Crosswire, not the best tyre ever produced. And this is going towards more along the, obviously the handling sort of thing with the cars. My father, we went through the likes of, I don't know how the hell my dad managed this, but it was a Morris Oxford panel van. How the hell my dad managed to get his hands on one of these, I will never know, because I've never seen one ever since. But a Morris Oxford panel van, and the Morris Oxford was basically it was exactly the same as a Wolseley. And they used the same powertrain, they used the same drivetrain, all that, everything was exactly the same. The only difference was the grille and the front lights. And that's it. Same with Plymouth and Chrysler. Plymouth and Chrysler. And then there's the Australian equivalent of Chrysler. Valiant Regal, Valiant Charger. Those same things. Like for Valiants, Oh, fuck, I'm going off on a massive tangent. I just love this shape of car. Like, you know, the tangent for the British cars, that was a gigantic tangent, because the shape of those cars of this era was completely different. Completely different. They weren't going for aerodynamics, they weren't going for speed, they were going for comfort. And that's where the British came into it for this, you know, the whole luxury of being able to drive pretty much on a cloud. You go over a bump, it wasn't a bump, it was just a smooth journey. You're not leaving an oil leak, it's not a mark. Now, when I say that my dad owned old British cars, I'd definitely much rather him. I hate saying this because I love old British cars, but I would much rather him had old American cars. Just, not so much for the comfort, but just for the noise. The tone that the extractors would put out, that the exhaust would put out, that the mufflers. You know. My father had a Rover, a 1980, what was it? A 1985 SD1. It had a 3.5 litre. It had a 350 British block in it, which was based off of the Buick 350. But the person that had the car before my dad completely replaced the exhaust on it. New free flows, new exhaust, you know, new extractors, and the noise that would come from underneath it, you know, it's just that nice low rumble. And what I can imagine from this beautiful piece of red art right in front of my face. I'm sorry.
For automatics, some of them are manual transmissions. This one is super special because not only is it a Hemi Cuda convertible, but it's the very first one ever made. This car was used in some magazine articles back in the day. It was part of the press fleet. It's just a super special car.
Even though I'd say that I'd much rather have a black interior of this, or like a black on grey or black on gunmetal or something like that, that still looks pretty fucking nice.
And aside from having the Hemi dual quad motor, on top of that engine you'll see a shaker scoop, which was an option, and this one's actually a red shaker, which is kind of unusual. Most of the shakers were black or a silver,
yep,
but some were body color, and this one was. And it's a red on red convertible. So the interior is red, the exterior is red. The only other accent color is black, and there's a black stripe, the black tail panel, the power top is black. So this whole thing has this really cool, aggressive looking red and black color scheme. But
what makes this entire combination that much more interesting is the fact that it's a 426. Not a 440. It's a 426. Just makes it so much more interesting. Sorry.
None of that really matters if you got a Hemi under the hood. I mean, this thing could be Battleship Gray and it would still be super cool.
Just so many different levels of yummy.
After seeing a red on red Hemi Cuda convertible driving around, you'd think people would have been lined up to buy these things, but this is the only one made in this color combination. Of course, they only sold 14 of these cars in total in 1970, so every one of them is kind of unique. This one's my favorite. One of the neat things about the Chrysler products of this era is the data.
Everybody has their own, you know, their own opinion on how they would expect a car to turn out, how they would buy a car, what options they would expect the car to come in. I don't know if I'd go for the red on red. You know, think back to then. If I was to go for a Cuda, a 426, it's just a 426. 426 cubic inch. Not a 440, a 426. Just makes it even that harder to come across because It's oh fucking hell. You know, black. You know, red outer, black inner. And if I was to go for a convertible, which I would never go for, I don't know why. I just would not get a convertible car. Just not as, I wouldn't say as reliable, but I don't know, that sense of safety under the elements, I guess. I'd have to go for a hard top. I'd have to go for a hard top. I wouldn't be able to go for a convertible. I wouldn't be able to do a convertible. I just wouldn't. I don't know if that'll work for me. Convertibles are good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love convertibles. You know, like, for example, a 57 Chev Bel Air. Two-door convertible. Give me one now. Like right now. Seriously. Just give me one now. I don't care what fucking color it is. Even if it's like Pink Panther pink. Just give me one. Because that'd be incredible. Just such a piece of art. But for the Cuda, it'd have to be a hard top. Hard top with a darker shade of interior. Because that red, as you can see, pretty much matches the shell color. Just, no. That, and it would be a bitch to clean it. And
Little stamped steel tag under the hood, but it gives you the list of everything that this car came with when it was new. And it makes it easier to verify a real car like this one, because if you know how to decode the data tag, you can find what this car came with when it was new. And all of the...
Wait, hold up. No, fuck off.
Match the
That
data
is bullshit.
tag.
Wait,
I mean, this one's
go
got
back to
data
that.
tag. I mean, this one's got a long history. Everybody knows where this car has been, so there's no concern. And
Wait. Did I see that mileage right? Fuck right off. No goddamn way. This thing has to be a numbers matching car. Look at the mileage on this. 2,885 miles. Wait, no, sorry, 28,851. Fucking hell, I just made myself look like a complete fucking dickhead. But what the hell? Whoever had this car up to this point, you genuinely are a legend. And why you got rid of it in the first place is well and truly beyond me. I can't place it. I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. Almost 29,000 miles on a car that's almost 40 years old. 50 years old. 47-year-old car. And not even 30,000 miles on the odometer. This is definitely a pleasure car, wasn't it? It was like a trophy drive. It has to be. Like, actually, you know, I don't know. Me personally, if I had this car, even if it was at 28,851, it would have to be my daily driver. I would not be able to help myself, but be able, like, just take it out every day because I'd just be so fucking happy with it. At that mileage with this car, at how old it is, and how clean it is, like, just how tidy. You know, I just, No. I couldn't do it. This car is just all kinds of beautiful.
All of the options and features on this car match the data tag. I mean, this one's got a long, long history. Everybody knows where this car has been.
Just, I can't, with the wheels that are on it. The wheels. There's no sign of rust. No sign of rust. Whoever had this car beforehand, you're a beast. And taking care of it the way that you did. It's just such a nice color.
So there's no concern about this being a clone. This is the real deal. And some of the cool things on that.
The original shaker badge underneath the fucking hood scoop. Oh, fucking hell.
Data tag indicate that it came from the factory with this color scheme, with this engine, torque flight automatic transmission, a Dana heavy-duty rear axle, 15 by 7 inch rally wheels, the elastomeric plastic bumpers, which are body color. Very cool thing because they enhance.
Polyglass. Goodyear Polyglass. Whoever the original owner of this is, like, I'd have to kiss your forehead. Like. Says the woman sitting down on the floor with her legs spread eating soup. Sorry. No. But, it's just. Like, oh, fucking hell. I honestly just have to say, I know I've said it earlier in the video, but if these are the original tires on this car, there's no way that they can be. Because 28,000, almost 30,000 miles on the same set of tires. For anybody to buy this car, you'd be incredibly lucky. Like, beyond lucky. Like, you really would be. It's shit. Even the skirting. Just down to the skirting. The chrome skirting. The wheels, tires, just... And to keep that convertible canopy as tidy as it is, I can guarantee you the amount of vinyl polish that went in to keep that thing is like just the elasticity in that car for the vinyl to stay the way that it is.
Tips that come out the back. That was an option on these things.
Fucking insane.
Of course, the bucket seats and the console enhance the lines of the car. The dual exhaust with chrome exhaust tips that come out the back. That was an option on these things.
Am I the only one that's watching this right now that picked up on the burble, like just that gorgeous tone that came out at the end?
And this car's got them. Of course, the bucket seats and the console. The Rally gauge pack in the dashboard. It's got the special S83 steering wheel, and it's got a power top. So, you know, you're not going to find a lot of luxury items in a Hemi Cuda convertible, but power top is pretty neat. Bucket seats.
Fuck the luxury. Who gives a shit about the luxury? You have a 426 Hemi Cuda in this day. No one gives a fuck about the luxury. It's just the fact that you have one that is original.
Comfortable to drive, and it will burn the tires all day long. You know, these things made a ton of torque. On the original tires back in 1970, the car magazines were testing these at 1330, 1340 in the quarter mile, 107, 108 miles an hour. Today, you put better tires on them, a drag slick or a drag radial. You've got
Slightly update the suspension, replace the coilovers, give them, a bit of an alteration on the leaf springs, a tiny bit of a ride height adjustment. That would increase by quite a bit. Now, all the stuff that he's talking about reminded me of a Street Machine magazine, but back then it wasn't a magazine, it was a hardcover. 1978 Street Machine hardcover copy. And it had... well, it was a Mini. Had a big block Chev in it. The engine was that big that it pushed like the ability of the front seat to be where it was to the back seat. So pretty much the entire front of this Mini was engine bay, firewall, steering column, and steering wheel. And it pushed it that far back that, the person that was driving it was sitting in the back seat of the car. Massive 36-inch drag radials on the back. Sorry.
Got a low 12-second car. So not only does this thing look super, super cool, it's got the power to back it up. It's a low production number. It's a great color. And it's the first one ever made. I mean, everything points to this being one of the pinnacle muscle cars. Now, aside from being the very first Hemi Cuda convertible ever built, this car is very special to us here at Muscle Car of the Week because we have now completed 52 weeks of different cars on Muscle Car of the Week. And
come on, how could you not be happy with that color and that shape? And starting from the grille, the underfront, like the front skirting, all the way down from the nose across the, the door panel shape, straight up to the rear guards, right to the back end of the car, to the where's the tail lights. All kinds of level of yummy. I don't know who this dude is that does these videos, but how he managed to come across this car, you're fucking brilliant, and you've made me such a happy person.
And this starts our year number 2. So we thought it'd be fun to show that even though we've been doing this for a solid year, we're still able to raise the bar.
And then there's the shaker snout. Oh, that shaker hood scoop, just, there's the Hemi scoop, there's, and all that, you look at your Dodge Charger, your Dodge Challenger, they have the 2 scoops that are a good, on either side of the bonnet, or the hood, on the front of the car, they're a good 2 feet, 2.5 feet, 3 feet apart. And then you look at this, just beautiful pair of vented nostrils on top of those barrels.
And provide more surprises for what's going to be a super cool muscle car every week. And we thought it was kind of fun to start it.
Sorry, had to pause it there. That's a gorgeous profile. Such a nice back end. Look at that. What the hell's going on with the windshield on that? Oh, wait, no, it's a red car in front of it. Sorry, my bad.
Our second year with the very first of its kind from the Brothers Collection. I know what you're
Brothers Collection? Okay, that's something I've never heard before. What does he mean, Brothers Collection? Wait, is my dinner behind me? Shit!
You're thinking, how can these guys possibly top the very first Hemi Cuda convertible ever built? Well, we've got a few tricks up our sleeve, and you'll have to wait till next week to see what happens then. Check out our Facebook page, and you can share this car with your friends. We've got more pictures of it at musclecaroftheweek.com. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, because you don't want to miss whatever comes next.
Right. Okay. So for this video, I'm definitely going to leave a link to these guys' YouTube channel, because what the actual fuck? How the hell did this guy come across this car? How did he manage to find it? This is just stupid. This is literally my favorite year and shape of car ever fucking made. Ever made. And then, you know, right to the right-hand side here, you got 1971 Hemi Cuda. I don't like those very much because of, I don't know, just how the grille looks. But, you know, massive grille, 2 headlights, shaker hood, spotties at the bottom. It's just, it's so good. Anyway, that is my video. I know it's random. It kind of, I don't know why I did it, because I did it. And this car is fucking gorgeous. It is literally my dream car. I don't know in that color scheme, but this year, this make, all that sort of shite, and it works. It's amazing. How these guys found this car is just fucking stupid. Anyway, gotta go. Xena Warrior Princess in the background. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have been watching, you are a legend of all legends. Because of legend. Yep. Fuck you. Anyway. You're awesome. Like the video if you liked it. You know, obviously if you didn't like it, well, fuck you. And, you know, this car is amazing. And I am terribly sorry to the guys of V8 TV. But I saw the video, I watched the video, I saw the car, and I just had to fucking record it because it's... Fuck you! Shut up! That's my missus in the background being a dickhead. You're all awesome. Thank you for watching. Like it if you did. And, you know, see you in the next video, which will more than likely be cool.